guys, welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Hero Show, the what's new in this week. So going through the new graphic novels, omnibuses, etc. that have come into the store. The usual mix of new releases, some top-ups for classic titles we like to always try and have on the shelves, some new omnibuses, some new hardcovers, a little bit of everything in there. Before I jump into that, just the boards are now updated in the store for the upcoming titles for October. So we've picked out all the best stuff there in terms of DC, Marvel and indie books. So hopefully you'll see some stuff there that catches your interest. Just get in touch with us. We'll always add stuff to pull list for you. Make sure you're guaranteed those cover price, first print, cover ace upon release. So as I say, worth having a wee look there. We're endeavouring to get a podcast or two recorded this week. It has been a little bit of a while. Just life getting in the way, unfortunately. But we are, as I say, hopefully going to get back on that train this week. We shall see. The one other thing is just that we're going to be sending off the CGC this Friday. So if you have anything that you're looking to get sent off to get graded, drop it into us by then, as we'll be sending it out in the post then. So yeah, we'll move away from there and on to the stuff out this week. So as I say, it's a nice little mix of stuff. So just as an example of that, we like to try and have Sandman in stock at all times. For the simple reason it's one of the greatest comics of all time. Neil Gaiman, of course, writing this masterful epic, and we just needed volumes 1 and volume 5 to complete the set on the shelves. There are 6 volumes in total. I was chatting to someone about this yesterday. 1 to 4 is your main bulk title. 5 is some tie-ins and some different takes, and then 6 is Sandman Overture, which was, of course, the sequel done many years later. In stock this week is Batman Wayne Family Adventures. This was originally published online via Webtoon. It's a slightly more light-hearted look at the Wayne family and the extended Bat family. I've been told it's fantastic, so I've actually got a copy of that myself. Looking forward to digging in. You may notice a high amount of Batman this week, and it's not even me topping up Batman. It just seems to be all these new releases that fell in the same week. For example, we're finally getting caught up with the Batman One Bad Day. Bane should have been here 2 weeks ago, then it should have been here last week, and then it finally arrived this week. I'll let you guess why. But yeah, Bane is the Joshua Williams and Howard Porter One Bad Day. And then as part of the new releases this week, we have Batman One Bad Day Clayface, which was Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, and Sir Manico on art. And then the last of them all was Batman Ra's al Ghul, which is Tom Taylor, Ivan Rice. So those are 3 of the best for me. I always say that I think Catwoman, Penguin, and Two-Face were a wee bit disposable. But Riddler, Mr. Freeze, and those 3 are all pretty damn essential. As I say, continuing the Batman theme, the first hardcover is out for Ram V's run on Detective Comics, Gotham Nocturne Overture. So this collects issues 1062 to 1065. Gorgeous art the whole way through. Raphael Albuquerque on art for this one, and just brilliant writing from Ram there. Not just that, but you have the core Batman title hitting hardcover this week as well. This is the second Chip Zdarsky art with Mike Hawthorne on art. This was called The Batman of Gotham, where Batman was into a alternate reality where Batman never existed. So yeah, really, really good stuff there from Chip Zdarsky. I think they're gearing up, thankfully, for the main titles to start coming back. Obviously, we're in the end game of Night Terrors. There's only a little bit more of that to come, and then we'll get back to the good stuff in September. DC Lazarus Planet, we have the hardcover of that this week. Mark Waid, Riccardo Federici on the predominant team there. So this collects Lazarus Planet Alpha, Lazarus Planet Assault on Krypton, We Once Were Gods, Legends Reborn, Next Evolution, Dark Fate, and the Omega issue as well. So not just Mark Waid involved in writing talent there. We've got Philip Kennedy Johnson, for example, Greg Pak, Tim Seeley. On art, you've got Federici, Mike Perkins. Lots of great talent involved in that, and all collected in one place. The latest James Bond book is out this week as well, which is James Bond Agent of Spectre, which was a really, really good read. Actually, this was just before Philip Kennedy Johnson took over, and they basically had Spectre manipulating Bond to work for them, which was very, very good. Next up, we have a Humanoids book, which is The Shadows of Tulle. So the Humanoids books is basically your European books. You'll see by the bigger format. They're always gorgeous editions. With this one, when a Roman general manipulated by a necromancer decides to awaken an ancient plague, enemy clans must join forces to save the world as they know it. Scotland, 2nd century AD. So yeah, I love the European stuff, so we tend to order in the new stuff as it arrives, or as it comes out. You have Wonder Woman next, which is Revenge of the Gods. This is Becky Cloonan, Michael Conrad on art. This is volume 4 of Wonder Woman since Infinite Frontier. So this collects 795 up to that 800 issue. So this is basically the last volume before Tom Keaton takes over along with Daniel Sampere on Wonder Woman #1. Aftershock up next, which is the sequel to We Live, which is We Live Age of the Palladians. This was a 5-issue miniseries, I believe. Yes, indeed. Which, as I say, is a follow-up to We Live. Very different book to We Live. It kind of gives away a little bit of the twist of We Live, the first book, by what this one is. But you should definitely read We Live. It's pretty damn fantastic. Next up is Trials of X, whereas far now is volume 12, so continuing to the deep dive into the Krakoa era of X-Men. This contains Devil's Reign X-Men #3, X-Men #8, Sabretooth 2 and 3, and the Marauders Annual as well. Next up, we have Specs. This is written by David M. Booher. We have a signing with him soon. And Chris Shane on art. It's got very much They Live vibes. Horror book. This was really, really good. This was a 4-issue mini-series. Really good art by Chris Shane, who's very much an artist on the rise, doing House of Slaughter as well. But again, you'll be able to get that signed in the future. Next up, we have Red Zone. So this was a 4-issue AWA Studios title. You can always see when it comes to Mike Deodato's art, he always takes inspiration from real-world actors. So you've essentially got Vincent Cassel here. You've got Brian Cox. You've got Gal Gadot. This is a really cool spy era, sort of Cold War era spy story. Older agents coming out of retirement and all sorts. But I really, really enjoyed that. Colin Bunn on writing. Speaking of David M. Booher, expansion of the Kanto world. This was Kanto Tales of the Unnamed World. So this was a mini-series which was expanding out the world of Kanto. You have 3 volumes before this, and then Tales of the Unnamed World is your next one. Talking about getting classics back in stock, we do our best to have Nightwing in at all times. So of course, Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo, quite simply one of the best comics around. So this one, it's a little awkward in a way because Dick Grayson is sort of considered volume 2. But there were a few issues during the Batman event, Fear State, which for me is volume 2. And they're both very, very good. I really enjoyed the Fear State tie-ins, actually. It did have a different artist, which was Robbie Rodriguez, but that's no slouch. So, yeah, a couple of volumes of Nightwing back in stock. And then we're basically finishing off with 2 big bad boys. So, first of all, we have Batman Detective Comics, the Peter J. Tomasi omnibus. Nice thick bad boy. This was basically before Mariko Tamaki and Dan Mora took over. This was all the Detective Comics leading up to Future State, which was essentially from Detective Comics 994, goes all the way through to 1033, has the annuals in there, has the Batman Pennyworth RIP one-shot, which was very affecting, stories from other detective issues as well. You've got scripts, behind-the-scenes artwork as well. I've got one of these myself because this is a very underrated run on Detective Comics. You know, the main title, it's interesting to me that Detective is the older title, but Batman is always seen as the flagship Batman title. This run was very, very good. Brought in Mr. Freeze, brought in Two-Face, brought in Joker. Lots of classic villains, which I really, really liked. And speaking of big omnibuses for absolutely essential titles, voila. One of Marvel's best titles of the last couple of decades, if you ask me. This is the Immortal Hulk. This was Al Ewing's magnum opus. Went for 50 issues, plus annuals and one-shots, and everything is in here. Hence why it is such an absolute brick. I mean, trying to put together the Immortal Hulk single-issue run, I mean, I had to do it myself not too long ago because I really wanted to read it. It was a title that I'd given up early on in the store's formation because, you know, customer came in looking for an issue. I was humming in hand, but I ended up giving up my issues. So it's very expensive to put together because there's a bunch of first appearances through it. So this, although this is a big bad boy, so this has a £135 RRP. We'll be selling it at 120. So again, £15 less than RRP. Again, we do our best where we can with these things. But this is absolutely essential. So Immortal Hulk 1 to 50 and issue 0. And then you've got those one-shots, The Best Defense, Defenders, Absolute Carnage, Immortal Hulk, Immortal She-Hulk, Keenan Black, Immortal Hulk, Gamma-Fly 1 to 5, and material from Avengers 684, which was first appearance, and Immortal Hulk Time of Monsters. So yeah, just genuinely one of the best things Marvel have done in years. And I'm delighted to say that the current run in Incredible Hulk is starting to hit that standard with Phil Kenny Johnson, Nick Klein. So yeah, these are all going onto the shelves this new comic book day, this coming Wednesday. So tons of great stuff to choose from there, and a couple of pretty special big boys there as well. As ever, guys, I hope this proved useful for you. I will get my single issue one up later today as well. We've also got some new runs coming into the store of different titles, so keep an eye out for that. Again, we're always trying to add to the back issue bays. I know I've got a Suicide Squad run coming, for example, going right back to the Ostrander days, and a few other bits and pieces, so keep an eye out for that. Anyway, as I say, hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you're staying safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you in store soon. Take it easy.